Boba Fett actor Temuera Morrison recently said that his character may not be returning to Star Wars. He cited the negative reception to the Book of Boba Fett on Disney+, and while I admit that I have seen quite a bit of negativity surrounding the show on the internet, I have to ask, why? Out of all the Star Wars shows that have only been given one season on Disney+, I actually think the Book of Boba Fett deserves a season 2 the most. Welcome back to Jar Jar Jargon. If this is your first time to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're interested in seeing more animated trailers and fan films, go ahead and head over to Patreon to become a member today.
Star Wars has a new show that just released called Acolyte, and a lot of people are saying that this is the worst Star Wars show ever produced, which I have to raise a big eyebrow to because did we all forget Book of Boba Fett exists? What blows my mind is some people still defend that show, saying like, oh, the last 2 episodes are good, but I mean, let's just go ahead and forget about the other episodes before it, like the Vespa chase scene. God help us all.
Yes, okay, the Vespa chase was bad, really bad. Not only was it slow and clunky, the colorful scooters didn't seem to fit on the harsh landscape of Tatooine, even if they were supposed to be owned by a group of rebellious teenagers. But why is this the main gripe that people seem to harp on about this show? It was no more than a couple minutes long, and even then, not nearly as bad as some of the scenes we received in other Star Wars shows. May I remind you about the Leia chase, or her hiding under Kenobi's trench coat, or this.
The power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
Ultimately, I don't think any one show is without its flaws or bad scenes. I mean, we could sit here and pick apart the prequels all day long, but at the end of the day, I still do love the prequels because they get Star Wars. They are the product of George Lucas. And I'm not saying that the Book of Boba Fett is as good as the prequels or is another product of George Lucas. It certainly is a product of Disney Star Wars, and the interesting thing about it is I think fans would like it had it not impacted the story of another character. I don't think anyone was necessarily surprised at the return of the Mandalorian in the Book of Boba Fett. I think the surprising elements of this were that it took so many expected storylines from Season 3 of The Mandalorian and brought them in to the end of Boba Fett's show. Instead of progressing Boba Fett's story along further, we took a slight detour and visited The Mandalorian. And while these episodes had a strong fan reaction at the time they aired, I believe they were actually detrimental to the overall reception of the show. People say Mando hijacked Boba's show, and that is true. But it was all done for one sole purpose. Disney needed their cash cow, Baby Yoda, to return for The Mandalorian Season 3. They didn't believe that they were capable of marketing Mandalorian Season 3 without this character in it. And honestly, he had become such a huge hit in pop culture that I'm not surprised by this thinking. And this is something that a lot of fans wanted to see. After the end of Mandalorian Season 2, there was so much speculation about Grogu training with him and becoming a Jedi, and this episode is the highest rated Star Wars episode on IMDb for good reason. It is incredible. It's amazing to see their dynamic. It's the ultimate fan service, but at the same time, it does the ultimate disservice to the overall story. Maybe I would feel differently if, when it came time for Grogu to make his decision on whether or not to stay with Luke, if that was left for a cliffhanger until Season 3 of The Mandalorian. Either that or these 2 episodes should have been left for the Season 3 of Mandalorian entirely. Instead, what we got was a forced, unemotional reunion that had no payoff and only cheapened the amazing ending to The Mandalorian Season 2. And it wasn't without its own effects to The Mandalorian Season 3, which is the lowest rated critically of all the Mandalorian seasons. So this executive decision had an everlasting domino effect on not only 1, but 2 shows, and possibly tarnished the character of Boba Fett forever. So I know I said I was going to defend this show, and I am. At the end of the day, the show is flawed, but a lot of it harps on the fact that it negatively impacted an important storyline from another show. The Book of Boba Fett has much to appreciate. Temuera Morrison, for one, is amazing in this role, and I seriously hope he gets the chance to reprise it someday. The show had some of the best world building with the Tusken tribes, and it has some of the best visual effects of any Star Wars show we've seen. We got new planets and new landscapes, and it kind of pushed the boundary of what to expect from Disney Plus shows going forward. And I think the cheapness of Kenobi really became glaring after it. And this was filmed during COVID, so it really did have a tough production to deal with, and they really had to rely on the volume heavily. It wasn't afraid to show familiar characters, whether it was the best representation we've gotten of Luke Skywalker under Disney, or someone like Cad Bane from the Clone Wars, or Chrysanthemum from the comics. And we got a plethora of new aliens that actually had them interacting with each other instead of humans for once. Overall, it strengthened the Mandalorian lore, and although I would have liked to see, Boba kick some more ass than he did, I think the story really set him up to be a leader in the underworld, an interesting but different take from what we were used to seeing in the old EU. So, is the show perfect? No, but I think it's highly overhated, and I think it's very deserving of a season 2. I just hope Disney sees that.